good morning, everyone, or good evening. If you are in the United States, I am currently still in Australia, where it is 11 a.m. on Saturday morning. 11 a.m. on Saturday morning. But just wait here a few minutes before we actually get started talking about our topic of today, which is actually going to be focusing on capital campaign steps for planning. So I'm so excited to be here, and I hope that we have others of you who are going to be on the broadcast as well. I am back here in Hibiscus Row and enjoying my time. Actually, I have brought my sunglasses because it has returned to a beautiful, beautiful sunny day. So I'm back here on Hibiscus Row, and I also today have brought along my my bucket hat. And for those of you who know me, know that I love sunglasses and I love hats. And the reason that I have this hat on today is because tomorrow is Australia Day. It is actually a long weekend here in Australia. It is actually the almost end of summer vacation for the kids. They go back to school this coming week if some of them have not already gone back. So I'm excited to be here celebrating Australia Day with everyone. I'm just so excited. But we will give it another 2 minutes before we come in. We're live talking to you about our topic of today, which just so happens to be on planning steps for a capital campaign. But I am back here on Hibiscus Row, just soaking in the sunshine after we have had a number of months of just smoke and fires constantly around us. So I'm excited to be here this morning with you all. So let us see. We don't have anyone joining us quite yet, so we'll give it a few minutes. I know Friday evenings can be difficult, but for me, this is the only time that I am, that seems to make sense with the time zone difference. So excited to be coming live on such a beautiful, glorious day here. Let's see here. So, all right, we will just wait another minute before we get started with this live broadcast. And again, as I said, coming to you live here from Hibiscus Row, and I have my sunglasses. These are just a junky pair of sunglasses. They're so scratched. But I have on my Australia Day bucket hat, so everyone can see that. And I'm so excited because tomorrow is actually Australia Day. So that is so exciting. Well, I want to come in live today and talk to you about the steps that are needed for a successful capital campaign. There was a recent question in the Facebook group around what do you need in order to plan a successful capital campaign? Well, there are in fact a few things that you do need steps ahead of a successful capital campaign. One is you need to ensure that you have enough donors and prospects. Sounds obvious, doesn't it? Right? Like you wouldn't mount a large campaign without having enough donors and prospective donors. However, what some folks fail to do is to actually obtain a gift range chart or create a gift range chart. And I have other videos and webinars on how to actually go about doing that. But you use a gift range chart because it is a tool that allows you to see the number of prospects and the numbers of donors needed in order to reach your fundraising goal. So really what you have to do is create one of those gift charts and then look at it and say to yourself, do I have, number one, a number of donors, but for every one donor, there's 4 prospects needed. So do you have that 4-to-1 ratio? So the question isn't as much about having enough donors, it's having enough donor prospects. So being sure that you have that before you mount your capital campaign. Then you want to make sure that your organization overall as a whole is ready for a capital campaign. What do I mean by that? Conducting some form of a development audit, development assessment in preparation for a larger capital campaign effort, and ensuring that you have all the necessary components of a strong development infrastructure in place. Things like, software, things like staffing, things like case for support, etc., etc., etc. Now, after you have that, you want to make sure that you have your development program in order. Things such as, administration, staffing structure, you have a strong annual giving effort, you already have a major gifts effort in place, and you all have portfolios, you have a strong grants and foundation program, you have been working on planned giving, you have a functionality to do prospect research, you have, your gift acknowledgments, your stewardship program are all in place. You have a strong voluntary program and a strong donor communications program. So certainly have a plan to put together to ramp up your development. So if you do not have a development plan before a capital campaign, I highly recommend that you have some form of a development plan in place before you mount a significant campaign effort. Okay, so ensuring that you have that development plan will ultimately ensure that you're going to be successful. Pre-campaign planning, certainly there is a phase. I posted a chart in the Facebook group that shows the different phases of a capital campaign. And one of those phases is pre-campaign time. And it's here that you need to begin to think about things such as your preliminary goal, your campaign objectives, and how the organization's specific need is articulated into a preliminary case for support that outlines the organization's need for philanthropic income, particularly around a capital campaign. Now, at this point, I would also highly recommend that you have or are going to consider doing a feasibility study. A feasibility study is an important process where you bring in an outside consultant to conduct a capital campaign feasibility study. Now, this study is done by a capital campaign or other consultant and provides a third-party objective view to your development program, particularly around the idea of mounting a significant capital campaign. The consultant will come in and test the capital campaign case for support and goal amount to determine whether or not your organization can realistically achieve the campaign goal and the most effective methods for accomplishing that goal. So it essentially will test the campaign goal with donors that we have pre-identified and make recommendations. So I have many groups who come to me because they are on the smaller end and they have absolutely skipped the feasibility study process. And my recommendation to them is do not skip that process. It's not a wise idea to skip doing a capital campaign feasibility study process at all. So highly recommend it, and it should be done by an outside consultant. So here we go. Let's conclude and summarize what some of the key steps are towards planning your capital campaign. Ensuring that you have enough donors and prospective donors through creating a gift chart. Ensuring that your organization as a whole is ready for a more considerable campaign effort. Things such as a strong and engaged board of directors, having a strategic plan and vision for the organization, understanding how the capital campaign fits into that overall strategic plan, getting your development program in order. Perhaps this is a good time to do a development audit, as well as ensuring that you have systems like staffing and IT, database management, acknowledgements, as having the stewardship plan, already having an existing major gifts and planned gift effort, all of that. And then having a development plan that basically ramps up your development program to get to the steps where you're able to conduct a larger capital campaign effort. And certainly engaging a consultant to do a feasibility study process as an objective third party to test the feasibility of you being able. I'm here, someone is there. I don't know who it is because I can't see. I hate this. Whoever is there, just type who it is and say who it is. So having a capital campaign consultant do an objective feasibility study to determine the overall feasibility of conducting a capital campaign. Will this case for support resonate with donors? And will donors support your campaign plan and campaign goal as presented? So those are really the pre-planning steps that you need to do and consider in your development program before actually mounting. Jackie! Hi, Jackie. It doesn't say, I'm using BeLive, and it just says Facebook user. So Jackie, you can catch the rewrap of this video. I'll have it posted probably in the next day or so. But these are all the steps that you need to take pre-launching even a capital campaign plan. So what you need to do in order to get your development program ready before a capital campaign. But as you know, I love my sunglasses. I'm here in Hibiscus Row. Tomorrow is Australia Day. That's the reason for this hat. So give me some likes and some loving for Australia Day. And this is actually everyone's summer vacation here in Australia. So many people have been on leave since before Christmas. So this is the long weekend that breaks that. The kids go back to school, people go back to work, and we're still in the middle of summer here until March, which March 1 begins fall. So everyone have a great Friday evening and weekend. It is Saturday morning at 11:10 a.m., the start of the Australia Day long weekend.